right, and welcome to another Superintendent's Update, where Superintendent Eric Conti comes in once a month to sort of talk about the latest in school news. Eric, thanks for coming by.
Pleasure.
So I want to start off this month with kind of a continuation of something we were talking about last time. That's the Massachusetts School Building Authority. I know the application for the HVAC system at the high school was not approved once again. So what's sort of the thinking going forward?
Technically, what wasn't approved was the application to renovate Burlington High School.
Right,
so
okay.
The HVAC, the systems would have been part of that renovation, as would have been the science classrooms, probably a general facelift as well. So that project was not approved. That doesn't eliminate the need, as we've discussed. So
Right.
We're looking at breaking it up or piecing it up and funding some of those needs locally. Concurrently, we're also looking to apply to the MSPA, the State School Building Authority, to replace one of our elementary schools. More than likely it would be Fox Hill.
Right.
And again, as we've discussed, if that project were to be accepted, again, the timeline would be application in April, then we would find out whether we were to start the process in December. That's December of 20.
Right.
And really that starts the clock at that point towards a whole bunch of other steps that are scripted. There's a 6 or 7 year process after that. So there's still lots of opportunity for design, community involvement, those type of decisions. So I know that when we talk about applying for things, people think, oh, all those decisions have been made,
Right.
and that's just not, again, not the case. What we are doing is seeking state funding for the project. We would still need to get town meeting approval for the local funding part of it. We would still need to go through the feasibility. We'd still need to go through the design process. But we will be shifting our focus after 7 or 8 years from the high school renovation to an elementary school beginning in April.
Okay. Now that's shifting the process as far as the, school building authority goes. What's sort of the thinking? Like you said, it doesn't eliminate the need at the high school for
Right.
some of these systems that could, fail at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be just sort of handled differently?
Yeah, so I think we're writing an RFQ to bring on a design firm, an engineering firm, and even if we were to look at replacing the HVAC system at the high school, it's 365,000 square feet. It's a big building.
Right.
We would need a professional to design the system that we could put out to bid that could actually be bid on. So it needs to be designed by a professional, and we have in a prior warrant some money to do that work. So we're going to be putting together a proposal that we can get a company to actually bid on doing the work, and what that ends up being, how much money that ends up being would be part of that process.
Right. Okay. Now, switching gears, you have an article coming up in this upcoming January town meeting.
Uh-huh.
Just to sort of explain what it is. It's a transfer of funds, correct?
Yeah, it's a very simple article. Again, from my perspective, the town meeting generously supported 2 warrant articles of I think 6 or 8 last May. One was new cafeteria tables at the middle school. Another was, I think, sewer pumps at Pine Glen. We didn't end up using all the money in the cafeteria table warrant. I think the tables just came in, we got a better price.
Good.
And I think the sewer pumps, whenever you do work in an older building like Pine Glen, we had some unexpected, I think, electrical issues or
Once you get
something
in
that
there, you
needed to be
find stuff.
fixed. So that project came in over, but it wasn't a project we couldn't do or it was in process. So the pumps have to be installed,
Sure.
or else we can't hold school. So I think what we're asking is to take the money that's left over from the cafeteria tables and apply it to the pumps at Pine Glen. So it's no new money.
Right.
We're just asking that the money, because once the money is identified in a warrant, you have to use the money for that particular purpose. So we're just asking town meeting to reassign the purpose.
Excellent. Shouldn't be too controversial.
Shouldn't be.
And looking ahead at I know Ways and Means has been kicked up again. It's everyone's starting to refocus on May town meeting. What's sort of the early discussions as far as how is the school approaching this the upcoming budget?
Like we always have. So the process really changed for me when I first started. So when we first started the process, again, 10 or 12 years ago, a lot of the work prior to having public discussions with the school committee, a lot of the reductions took place in my office prior to going to the school committee. So when the school committee heard a budget presentation, typically they were already down around where they needed to be for us to meet our guideline. I think the feedback that we got is some of the public felt there was too much agreement. They didn't see the sausage being made, and the school committee didn't get the opportunity to hear directly from people in terms of what their needs were. So about 10 years ago, we changed that process. So the school committee will be hearing from each department, each cost center, each principal about what their true needs are. And so typically we've come in with a budget that is more than the money that we would get approved, and then we work hard to make the tough decisions to bring those costs down. The other aspect of this year's budgeting is our contracts are all ending, so we're in the process of negotiating new contracts. So that's a cost that's unknown. Sometimes we'll go into a budget year when we know what our contractual obligations are because the contracts are settled. So I think this is one of the years that we don't. So we also have to factor in what we think are that unknown, or just communicate with people that those conversations are ongoing.
Right. And now, just a couple quick things. I know we've talked about the program before, but the Burlington High School was one of, again, a few schools in the state that won a Innovations Pathways grant from the governor's office.
Yes. So we actually were awarded the grant last year. I think the governor just came out with a press release recently. So
it's the
same grant. So that was, I think that grant was around $50,000, and that was largely due to the efforts of Shireen Terrell, our computer science teacher. She worked closely, though, with Deb Deacon at the high school, and assistant principal, Dennis Villano. And the Innovative Pathways Grant for Burlington High School involves computer science, and it's creating a pathway to get kids some classroom learning, but then also working with private sector partners, the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce, and again, other really supportive private sector opportunities to get our kids some internships and sort of creating that pathway for them in computer science. So it's a great opportunity, and I think we were one of 14 high schools. So again, it's also an honor, and I think it really demonstrates the expertise and a lot of dedication of our staff here at Burlington High School.
Yes, and this last thing also I think reflects well on the school. Oh.
Well, again, in addition to that Innovative Pathways grant, there was also another grant which was I think roughly about $230,000, and that is also an innovation associated grant, and that was just recently awarded, and I'm not sure when that'll be officially announced, but that'll allow the district to bring in some. The Pathways grant is more about contracted services and people. This other grant is more focused. It'll let us to bring in some more technology and support the Innovative Pathways grant. So we have been awarded 2 grants, but the Pathways grant itself was awarded last year. That was around $50,000, and I think the grant that we just heard about, which I'm not even sure is public yet, but hopefully will be soon, is over $200,000. So again, we always are seeking out opportunities for funding and for opportunities that can help us enhance our programming.
Excellent. And like I said, so last thing, we have 2 students here that pretty much really proved their smarts. William Japp and Alex Genove, they won the Massachusetts Stock Market Challenge and beat out 779 other teams across the state to do so. Just talk about how, that sort of just reflects well on the district here.
Well, I think applied learning is everything. So what's great about the stock market game is it uses the real stock market. Again, the money is sort of not real. but the performance of the stocks and everything else is actual. So anytime you can create an authentic learning experience for kids that's applied knowledge, I think that's the highest form of learning there is. I think Alex and William deserve a tremendous amount of credit. They came in front of the school committee. They were very engaging. I think they could have talked for another hour.
Yep.
I was trying to take notes, for my own personal investing.
Maybe they could.
I think they were very smart, but I think it also certainly reflects well on Ms. Trouvé, Ms. Anderson, our business teachers who are creating these opportunities for kids. And again, Ms. Deacon oversees the business program as well. And we've seen a real explosion in terms of our students signing up for business classes, and our DECA club has really grown. And I think kids are demonstrating by their choices that those are popular classes. And I think one of the reasons they are popular is because they're so authentic and the learning is applied. And I think that's what engages kids, and I think we try to create those opportunities wherever we can. We mentioned computer science before,
right,
with our Innovative Pathways grant. Again, the more we can get kids seeing how the knowledge that they're learning it can be applied more to than a test, I think the better it is. And I think things are changing so rapidly now in today's world that we can't really train kids for a particular career or job, because those careers or jobs change so much that really have to train them how to learn and then how to apply knowledge to new novel settings. And again, the stock market game is a great example of that. So again, I think William and Alex were given $100,000 to start, and I think over a very short period of time they brought that, I think they said $148,000. So their portfolio gained a significant amount of value, and again, that was top in the state. So again, great performance.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
And again, I think kudos go to them and kudos go to their teachers.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think we'll end it there on that positive note. So I'd like to thank you for coming in once again, and we'll see you next month.
My pleasure. Take care.
Thanks.